first, we go back in time with our regression special. Now, have you ever bumped into a stranger and felt that you met them before? Or petrified for no reason? Well, my next two guests' shocking explanation for these reactions is that you are, in fact, having a memory from your past life. Diane is a regressionist who has been helping people remember their past lives for over 18 years, and she's here to tell us all about it. Diane, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me, Russell.
Well, I was thrilled you're in because I remember meeting in Cardiff some years ago Arthur Bloxham, who was known as one of the great regressionists.
Wonderful man, wonderful man.
And he took me back, and it turned out that I worked as a little lad, I think they called them monkeys, in one of Nelson's ships at the Battle of Trafalgar. True team. And it was the most fantastic thing. And you know, what was weird about it was I'd been to Madame Tussauds, and when you go in there, there was this whole thing about HMS Victory. And the smell, I remembered the smell, because they have the smells there. And then when I went onto HMS Victory, when I was recording a series called Postcards, I knew where places were. Incredible.
It's extraordinary.
Is that what it's all about, regression?
It's all about remembering, yes. We've all had many, many lifetimes, hundreds if not thousands, and I can almost promise you that every one of your viewers will have had other lifetimes. And that is how things are, and it's not important that we remember them unless there is strong emotional energy attached to any one of those lifetimes. If there is, the chances are that in some way that lifetime will be affecting our present lifetime, our current one.
So is it like reincarnation we're talking about?
It is reincarnation.
It
yes.
is.
But regression is really about remembering what happened to you before. It really helps to throw a lot of light and meaning onto your current life too, to remember the kind of lifetimes you've had before and the understandings that you've made.
So things such as karma, as you sow, so you reap. Can you carry your karma, your good, your bad, habits, character traits, all of those things you owe other people through karmic law, through various lifetimes?
Yes, absolutely, we do that. The personality from another lifetime that we've had, if it's sufficiently strong, it will imprint itself on our present lifetime. But often we can be almost a different personality. We're learning different lessons in this current lifetime. But certainly our karma, our credit and loss account stays the same until we change it.
Diane, how do we know it's true and not just our imagination?
Well, there is a lot of work and research being done on this, but from my own point of view, the work that I do tells me that it's real because of the very real emotions that people experience in going through regression.
And somebody who felt that is our next guest. She always wondered why she got a red flush across her throat and was shocked when a TV regression experiment gave her the answer. Please welcome actress Kate Bain. Hi, Kate. Thanks for coming on, darling.
Hello, Kate.
Hello.
Kate, what made you go in for something like regression?
I was asked to do it for a TV show, really, and I've always been really interested in sort of regression, past lives, future lives, anything to do with anything spiritual, something that's not really known or proved. So I was really excited about doing it. But when I did it, I had no idea that I would be a man, because I was a man from
So you're a man?
From the 1700s.
Before you went into it, did you believe in it at all?
More interested than believed in it. I was very sort of like, I think if you're open to these things, you know, if you sort of open yourself up, it's a lot easier. And he did say that if you just sit back and relax and say the first thing that comes into your head, even if it sounds ridiculous and stupid and makes no sense to you, it could make sense to just say it. So I was very sort of open.
And this 18th century man, did you recognise him when he came through you?
No, because it was like you were that person. He took you down several stages. He called it as if you were on a lift, on an elevator. And I don't know, are you like hypnotised? Would you say it's
Oh,
like being
certainly. Your
hypnotised?
brain waves are slowing down.
You're conscious of everything in the room. But he took you down several stages until you were so relaxed that it was almost like being asleep. And he said, when you open your eyes, you'll see your feet and you'll see what's in front of you, and it's just clouded and misted over, and you're walking across a bridge. He said, when I count to 10, the mist will clear and tell me what you see. When I count to 3, and then all of a sudden it was just like, he said, what's your name? And I said, James. And I didn't want to say that, and I remember consciously thinking, I don't want to be a man, I want to be a girl. And I couldn't help but say it, and then it just, whatever he asked me just came out of my mouth. And I'd gone to prison for stealing, and everything I could see, it was like almost being in a daydream when you're half asleep, half awake. And I described this prison cell and this window, and what I could see was a big marketplace outside of it, and behind that was a church. And after you've done the regression, they go and research it. And they came back with this church, and they'd asked me what the prison was called, and I'd mentioned this name. And it was actually a very rich family that owned the village and ran the prison. And they'd gone to the place that I'd said, I can't remember where I said it was now. So they showed me this prison, the marketplace, and the church where the name James Lambert was. Yeah,
where you had been.
Yeah.
So the name was James Abbott. Do we know what he did for a living?
No, because when he took me across the bridge, I was 18 years old and I was walking with my sister. And then he'd say, right, you're 25, where are you now? It was sort of like that. And then I was in prison, and then he took me back, and it was because I'd stolen something.
Oh,
and I was
really?
in prison for about 5 years.
Oh, yes, it's got it here. You're a 17th century male pickpocket.
Yeah.
And you got the red welt on your neck when regressed. You've got it now.
Have I got it?
I have to say, everybody, that you've actually got that now.
I get it all the time, and when he brought me round, if you like, it was there really like almost like a rope that had been around my neck. It was really sort of, everybody was really spooked out.
And Diane, is that the kind of thing that people in this day and age can carry through, the kind of things now that Kate is experiencing, where a previous life she was hanged as James?
Absolutely, because in that hanging there was strong emotion for you. And probably those feelings about that hanging are still there with you, and maybe that's something you'd want to work with later on. But that reddening of your neck is just a physical symptom in this lifetime of energy that's been brought from other lifetimes and is showing through now.
Well, it's strange because I always sometimes just get a red. Is it there now? Is it still there now?
Yeah.
Get a red mark right across my...
Well, it's incredible. I could talk to you for a very long time, both of you. Maybe we could do something more on regression on the show, team. I would like that. I'm sure lots of other people would like that too. Kate, you're a Cancerian. We know that in this life. And I've got a note here that apparently in that previous life as James, there was even the gravestone found.
There was, yeah. And the name of the mother, where my mother was buried somewhere else, and they found that as well. And when he said, what's the first thing you could see, I could see red. Like I said, it's like red mud. It's all over me. And the place where I was actually the place I named was a clay village where there was a lot
red
of
clay.
Yeah. And
this is fascinating,
bizarre.
Kate. So you're a believer now?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
Can't
how do you say all those things, dates, names, and it just doesn't make sense.
It's fabulous and fascinating because it says so much. And Diane, thanks so much for coming. We've all got these past lives here.
Oh, everybody.
Come back again, and maybe you could do in a show a regression with one of us. I'd love that.
Love.